Over a year ago, my wife and I stopped at our local cemetery to visit my parents' gravesite, to place flowers, and talk with them for a while. As we drove away, my wife caught the sight of military graves. Some were decorated with Christmas wreaths, while many were not. We got out of the car to take a closer look. Looking around, my wife asked me what was wrong. The only words I could muster out were, "This is not right." Welcome to That's Life, I Swear. This podcast is about life's happenings in this world that conjure up such words as intriguing, frightening, life-changing, inspiring, and more. I'm Rick Barron, your host. That said, here's the rest of this story. As I continued to survey the veterans' burial site, I observed the resting places of individuals who had served in past wars. The Gulf War, Afghanistan, Vietnam, South Korea, World War II, World War I, and would you believe it, even the Spanish-American War. What struck me the most was the absence of Christmas wreaths not covering all of the graves of these brave men and women who had answered the call to protect us. Determined to unravel this discrepancy, I quickly returned to the car and told my wife that we needed to find out who was in charge of this cemetery. Not wasting any time, I drove over to the main office building. I entered the main office and walked up to the reception area to inquire about the person in charge. It didn't take long before I was introduced to the Director of Community Relations. When I shared with them what I saw at the veterans' burial site, the director was kind enough to invite me into their office, where we had a very insightful conversation. It was during this conversation I learned about the Wreaths Across America. I knew the name of the program, but honestly I wasn't that well informed as to the purpose of the organization. The director explained that the purpose of the program allowed people to order Christmas wreaths during the month of December. However, the enormity of the task required a collective effort, as not all graves could have a wreath laid on their grave. It became clear that marketing the program to the public was essential to encourage community participation in providing Christmas wreaths at the gravesite, which was a very substantial undertaking. In essence, the Christmas Wreaths Across America program facilitates ordering wreaths to be placed on the graves of loved ones during this special event. The challenge lies in rallying people to participate in their respective communities, which shed light on why I saw so many graves not covered with a wreath. As I sat there, I felt a deep sense of responsibility and somewhat guilt. I just couldn't simply walk away without doing anything. I told the director I wanted to purchase Christmas wreaths for these veterans for the following year's ceremony. Without a second thought, I pulled out my wallet and without hesitation, used my credit card to purchase 400 Christmas wreaths for my fellow vets. That evening, the communications director called to express gratitude for my purchasing the 400 Christmas wreaths. During our conversation, the director invited me to join the Wreaths Across America committee, pointing out that the importance of having a vet on their committee would speak volumes. Eager to contribute even more, I gladly accepted and committed to helping however I could. As we progressed, multiple meetings ensued, and we finally reached the point where we were ready to launch our event on December 16th, 2023. So how did this program come about? Christmas Wreaths Across America is a non-profit organization with a mission to honor and remember the lives of U.S. military veterans, placing wreaths on their graves during the holiday season. The program was founded by Morrill Worcester, owner of the Worcester Wreath Company in 1992. The initiative began when Morrill had a surplus of wreaths and didn't know what to do with the excess. With the help of Maine Senator Olympia Snowe, arrangements were made to place the extra wreaths on the graves at Arlington National Cemetery. This gesture grew into a national movement stemming from a photograph taken at the 2005 ceremony, which went viral. Christmas Wreaths Across America was officially established as a nonprofit in 2007. The primary purpose of Christmas Wreaths Across America is to pay tribute to fallen veterans, express gratitude for their service and sacrifices, and ensure that their memories are not forgotten ever during the holiday season. The wreaths, often adorned with red bows, are placed on gravesites in national cemeteries, state veterans cemeteries, and local cemeteries across the United States of America. By 2014, the nonprofit Wreaths Across America had reached its goal of placing a wreath at all 527 military graves in various cemeteries. The organization's motto is Remember, Honor, Teach, emphasizing the importance of remembering the fallen, honoring their service, and teaching future generations about the value of freedom and the sacrifices made by those in the military. Each December on National Wreaths Across America Day, volunteers gather at cemeteries across the country to participate in wreath-laying ceremonies. This program is a way for communities to come together, show respect for veterans, and participate in a meaningful and symbolic act of remembrance. It serves as a powerful reminder of the gratitude and respect owed to those who have served in the military, and a way to ensure that their memories live on. 1 year later, our preparations for Wreaths Across America at our local cemetery finally came together, and we were ready to launch our event on December 16, 2023. Eager to contribute even more, my wife and I volunteered to capture the moments through photography, ensuring we documented a group photo of all the attendees. The morning of the event was a very cold December day. My fingers were very cold and didn't know if I was going to be able to take pictures. Crew members of the cemetery were setting up tables and chairs for volunteers to check in and received instructions for where to go prior to the ceremony speeches to begin. Various groups, including the Boy Scouts of America and the Girl Scouts of the USA, were present. After attendees signed in and enjoyed coffee and donuts, the day's focal point unfolded. Everyone gathered at the cemetery's main center for the proceedings. Speeches were delivered by members of our committee: an Army colonel, the Director of Community Relations, a Gold Star mom, and a Blue Star mom. As the speeches resonated, I couldn't help but survey the graves of fellow veterans, remembering the colonel's poignant words during his speech to the attendees. All gave some gave all. The joy of knowing we had secured over 2,100 wreaths was profound. I was happy that my contribution helped in the event. After the speeches, volunteers proceeded to their designated gravesites of veterans to begin the laying of the wreaths. My wife and I went into separate directions to capture as many pictures as possible. As I began capturing moments through my camera lens, I was moved by some of the people participating. Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts were very meticulous to follow the process, placing wreaths on the gravesite, fluffing the limbs and the red ribbon, standing up, and slowly saluting while calling out the name of the individuals they honored. I saw many parents laying graves for their sons and daughters and others. Their quiet moments of the gravesites reflected a mixture of hope and acceptance on their faces, wishing for the return of their loved ones, while understanding it will never happen. I saw a very tender moment involving a little 3-year-old child placing a wreath on a grave with the loving guidance of their mother. And I can proudly say I was both happy and proud to place a wreath on my uncle's gravesite, Jose Delator, Singleman, 3rd Class, United States Navy. Here's a little tidbit of history. My uncle served in the United States Navy during World War II. He was commanded by Admiral Chester W. Nimitz to paint a mural of the world aboard the USS Missouri in the gallery that to this day still remains on the wall of the USS Missouri, now stationed in Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. The Wreaths Across America event became a poignant tribute that morning, weaving together diverse stories of service, sacrifice, and remembrance on that meaningful day. I've watched this event on the news over the years. Never did I think I would be part of a great team to coordinate the event that happened that morning. It's one thing to see it on TV, but another to be there in person. For me, the emotions of friends I lost in Vietnam and those who died in other wars brought a stark reality to me at how damn lucky we are to be living in this nation and having the freedom that we do today. There is one more thing. I want to thank Gloria, Karen, and Cheryl for allowing me to be part of their team. What can we learn from this story? What's the takeaway? Well, let's cut to the chase. I ask all of you to get out there and please volunteer, if but to convey thanks to those vets who gave it their all, for all of us. These magnificent individuals made the ultimate sacrifice. They answered the call without question and met their obligation to God and country. As for me, I'll be back next year to answer the call for my fellow brothers. There you go, my friends. That's life, I swear. For further information regarding the material covered in this episode, I invite you to visit my website, which you can find on either Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts, for show notes, calling out key pieces of content mentioned and the episode transcript. As always, I thank you for listening and your interest. Be sure to subscribe here or wherever you get your podcasts so you don't miss an episode. See you soon.